Well, the old saying goes, sometimes the beauty is in the journey, not the destination. And this adage very true for one Minnesota author.
Arnold Allanen wrote a book, and it's all about how Minnesota's North Shore was built and the history behind each spot right along Route 61. He titled it and encourages us to take the scenic route. Arnold joins us via Zoom this morning to talk a little bit more about the book. Good morning. Hi, Alan.
Yeah, Arnold, right.
Arnold, sorry, yeah.
Oh, welcome to you too. It's good to see you.
So tell us a little bit about the book and why you decided to write this.
Well, this is something that's been a long time in the making. I first saw this North Shore area when I was about 7 years old. And I was living then as a flatlander in far western Minnesota. And I went with my grandparents and my mother, and I was just awestruck by seeing hills of this magnitude. You know, of course, they're not mountains. But to me, being a flatlander, that was quite an astounding thing to see. And when we would go on the lake and took a tour boat and then looked on Skyline Drive, I was just amazed to see the blue water of Lake Superior stretch out towards the city on the other side and then go on to virtually into an infinity towards the east. So ever since then, I've been really interested in the lake. And being an academic towards my retirement some years ago, I decided, well, I'd write a book about the entire North Shore because I had been doing other items or smaller articles and other chapters on it, but I thought I'd try to put it all together into one large book. Well, it turned out to be quite a large one, over 500 pages, 300 illustrations, 25 maps, rather complex ones as well. And finally it came out after some 10 to 12 years of working on it.
Wow, labor of love.
Yes, it was.
So tell us about the North Shore route.
Okay, well, it stretches from Duluth, of course, the eastern part of the city, and then goes along the shoreline of Lake Superior. It's called the North Shore, even though it runs from the southwest to the northeast. But if we were to look at Lake Superior in its entirety, it is part of the larger North Shore that then goes across Canada and eventually then goes into Sault Ste. Marie. And then you have the South Shore from Michigan across Wisconsin back to Duluth. So along this amazing roadway, there are several settlements, but there are only 4 cities. There's Duluth, 2 harbors, Silver Bay, Beaver Bay, and Grand Marais. And then there are several smaller communities that many of you, of course, have heard of, Lutsen and Tofte and Hovland and places of that nature. They are unincorporated towns, so they're really part of their larger townships. It's a complex political pattern there in terms of units of government, but it all comes together into one larger entity, that being the North Shore.
And there are a lot of spots along the North Shore route that you talk about in your book. I want to talk about a couple of them here this morning. The first being the Outlaw Bridge.
Yes. In 1917, there had been efforts made prior to that to connect Canada and Minnesota. Because before then, there were some primitive roads. There was a primitive road going to the point, but you couldn't get into Canada and Canadians couldn't get into the United States or into Minnesota in this case. So the good citizens of both sides of the border got together and tried to lobby their governments, that being the state of Minnesota and the province of Ontario, to encourage them to build a bridge so the two countries and the two units of government could be connected. Well, it was such an unknown entity at that time. The costs were, they really hadn't made any cost estimates yet. So the units of government never acted on it. And finally, private citizens, especially the Rotarians from Port Arthur and Fort William, now known as Thunder Bay, and from Grand Marais and Duluth got together and decided that they would raise funds on their own to construct this rather primitive bridge that finally allowed traffic to go across. And this is on August 17th of 1917 when the bridge opened. And this is taken from the Ontario side. As people are leaving, there are several hundred people from Thunder Bay, from Fort William and Port Arthur, traveling to Grand Marais to have the big celebration. And it lasted all day on August 17th, 1917. People got together, bands played, Scottish dancers were performing, speeches were made by politicians because the United States was involved and had just recently become involved in World War I. There were people giving patriotic speeches. The Canadians, of course, already knew about that. They'd been joining with the British forces for a couple of years already, fighting in Europe, but it was new for the Americans. So it was a very patriotic sort of gathering, but it was all done in good spirits because it was a great accomplishment.
Arnold, I want to make sure we get to some different features in your book and places you want to talk about. So if you could quickly tell us about Sextus City, Fish Fry Lodge, and Hjalmar Matson and Tipper, whatever that is.
Okay, do you have a photo of them or not?
We do,
Yeah, we do.
yes.
Okay, why don't we start then? Okay, this is Sextus City, and this was the first border community that developed along the Pigeon River. This is on the American side. And Sextus Lindahl organized this small enclave where you could buy beer. You could, of course, get gasoline. You could even have your car put on a grease rack, as you can see there on the left. And the reason for that is because cars would break down and you could have some work done. So this enclave lasted here until the new bridge went in then many years later.
And then we have a picture of the Fish Fry Lodge, which was a big roadside attraction.
Yes, this was just outside of Duluth, and it's now in McQuaid. It's underwater, small craft. No, actually, it's a parking area for the small craft harbor at McQuaid. This just gives you an idea, again, of the size of some of these entrances that people tried to use as advertisements to entice people to come there. In the background is his truck pulling a wagon that he would give his guests at his lodge hay rides as well.
Oh, fun. And then we have Hjalmar Matson and Tipper.
Yes, this is quite an interesting case. Hjalmar was the son of a couple of people who had been born in Finland, but they were Swedish-speaking Finns. And the mother died when just giving birth to her 8th child. So the father was left with 8 kids along the lakeshore as a fisherman. Of those kids, they all moved away except for Hjalmar and his brother. The brother was killed in World War II, so Hjalmar was left there alone as a bachelor. One of the most intriguing persons to live along the North Shore, I believe. In fact, I have met a lot of them because through my reading and research, I've often said, oh, I wish I knew that person. Well, here's one person I really did want to know. But I did meet his nephew some years ago, and he gave me a lot of insights. But what we see here is a photo of Hjalmar cleaning fish, and he was a very accomplished fisherman. And his dog Tipper is there just waiting for the entrails.
Yeah, Tipper.
And the
Tipper's
headline
waiting
of this
for some
particular,
little
if I could say,
snack
the
there.
headline of that article was a kipper for Tipper. Kipper was another word for herring.
And before we go, we want you to talk about this Olson's Motel. This is that Googie style architecture.
Right.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Right. After World War II, architects were experimenting with different forms and different materials. And out of California came this idea of a Googie building, which would often have these strange shapes. Maybe the best known form of a Googie are the early McDonald's hamburger establishments. This particular phenomenon architecturally moved to different parts of the country. And the Olson brothers of Tofte developed a motel that has not a motel, I'm sorry, had a church. They were the contractors. It has a roof form that uses a paraboloid. They then wanted to use it on their motel. So they use that form here, and it's the only Googie building on the North Shore, and it still stays there, and let's hope it does. It's been used for many activities since it was a motel.
Well, I love it. Arnold, this has been really, really neat. Thank you so much for sharing what has obviously been a labor of love for you for more than a decade now.
Yeah, and way beyond that in terms of since I've ever been a kid.
I love it. All right, Arnold, thank you. Want to let folks know that you do have a couple of events coming up. Lake County Historical Society on June 3rd, the Grand Marais Public Library on June 4th, and then you'll be in FinFest in Duluth in August, so people can find that out. We'll have a link to more information about where you can get Arnold's book on our website, minnesotalive.com.